Hi, my name's Mark Wells and I'm back again with you to do a segment again on the FES Flower Essences. And today the subject matter is procrastination. And I think we all suffer from it sometimes, and some of us more often than others. So we're going to look at some flower essences that can help us overcome that. And it's probably a good time of the year, towards the start of the year, to have a look at that. So the first one is Blackberry. And I think looking at the signature of that plant, we all know how hard blackberries are to remove, to stop. They're determined, they just don't give up, they grow, you cannot stop them. People can spray them, they can do all sorts of things, but they will bounce back. There's nothing to stop blackberry. And I think we would all like a bit of that tenacity sometimes. So blackberry as a flower essence can help us. I've used it myself a lot when I needed to get things done and felt I was just flagging behind a bit and also perhaps avoiding a few things that I needed to do. And when I took blackberry, I would always know it would sort of give me the next step. It would say, oh, I'll get that done, and then the other things will flow on better from that. And I think that's also the experience of a lot of practitioners I've had when they've been sort of a bit stuck, feel as though they're procrastinating, not getting on with the job or not achieving what they want to. They take blackberry and it certainly would energise, but it would also give them a different view, a more constructive view of how to go about achieving what they want to achieve. And sometimes that's a bit different to the way they thought, and they sort of start the ball rolling and things happen from there. So it's a great remedy on its own. But you can also add another FES flower essence with it, or it's great in its own right, and that's Cayenne. Now, Cayenne and blackberry have been given the name the manifestation formula. Because this has been so useful for people when they wanted to manifest something that they're looking for in life. Cayenne, as you know, how do we use cayenne in cooking and things like that? We use it to spark it up, to get it going, to put a rocket in it and fire it up. And so it's almost like it's a bit of a catalyst with the blackberry. So they can be, they work wonderfully together. As I said, blackberry to me is the key one to get things moving in the right way, constructing your life in a way to achieve what you want to achieve. But cayenne just gives it that extra oomph. I often say, it puts a rocket under you to get you going. So have a look at those remedies individually, but particularly together when you feel as though things aren't moving the way you want it and you feel you're resting on your laurels a bit, you're procrastinating, and you just need that bit of a enabling push. Ladies slipper, from a different point of view, I think people who they're almost on slightly on the wrong path. They seem to be doing things that are more for other people. I don't mean that in a sort of a generous way. They're just living up to the expectations of other people and their lifestyle and what they're doing and keeping up with other people. Lady Slipper says, no, wait a minute, what do you need to do for yourself? Where are you going to feel most fulfilled? Don't be distracted by, keeping up with the Joneses, watching what they're doing or thinking that's what I should be doing. Some of it may be relevant to you and right. But Lady Slipper just says, no, it allows you to be, I suppose the word's less disingenuous in terms of the way you're living your life. So you can just do it generally. This is me, and this is what I need to do. And Lady Slipper can help you get in touch with that, but then go for it. And it's almost like if you're not doing that, if you're slightly off track, you're playing a role, you're performing, and it's tiring for people. And I think a lot of people get to that point, I don't want to do this anymore. Who am I doing this for? This is ridiculous. This is not me. And it's exhausting. And Lady Slipper there can actually help energize, but it also helps the person, helps the things flow better. And you say, well, that's me. and now I'm living, that's the path I should be taking now, so I can live life that's really true to me, and live it easier, and not become exhausted doing stuff that's not you. Madia, I've spoken about this a lot. It's another great remedy when you're a bit stuck and you've got a few things that you haven't finished, or you'd like to finish, or you'd like to at least start or get moving. I often give the story, and you've probably heard it before now if you're listening to these, about how often I've given this to people and they've come back to me and said, oh, I painted that back room that I've been putting off or procrastinating about for so many years. So it's, as I said, not just for that, but it gets you moving, gets you focused. It gives you energy to concentrate for longer. I've always said it's a really good remedy for people who are studying or doing intense mental work. But in terms of your life, it gets you moving. It's particularly if you're procrastinating in certain areas, you'll find that without you even knowing it, you start to move a few things that haven't been moving for a long while. The next one's Morning Glory. I've spoken about that again in lots of other for lots of other issues, but it's again an energizer. But what it helps you do is get in touch with your own natural health driving rhythms. Obviously, with people that are perhaps artificially inducing that by having their coffee, by having their wine, by having their smoke, or doing whatever or having their sugar hit. That's often what's happening, and that just gets them through. But it just gets them through the day. They do what they need to, and as I said, procrastinate and leave the other things that they'd like to get to that would make their life a better quality. So Morning Glory does two things. It helps you get in touch with those better rhythms in your system that may well have been thrown out, even going to bed a little bit earlier, just getting back into a nice rhythm so you have the energy to do not just the bare minimum to get you through the day, to do those things that you want to do as well, comfortably, and start changing your life and start moving in the right direction. Finally, Tansy. Now, Tansy's one, again, to give us a bit of a nudge in the right direction. It's interesting that over the years, and I always say this, don't prescribe necessarily a flower essence for a physical condition. However, there are people that do tend to, for example, for the classical Tansy person often will present perhaps with a thyroid issue or something to go with the metabolism being sluggish, a hypothyroid sort of type condition. Not always, but it can be there. So Tansy is about that. It's about getting the system moving. It's about getting the metabolism going. It's about, again, just giving you that energy, but also the energy to push forward. One way of describing it would be rocking the boat a bit, because sometimes the person who needs Tansy needs to do a few things that may be challenging to the people close to them. They need to say a few things. They need to move in a bit of direction which may well rock the boat compared with the way things have been. And that's been why they've procrastinated. That's why they've stayed in a particular situation. Because, is it worth the trouble to achieve this? I'd have to deal with this, and them. Tansy just gives you that strength, that commitment, to sort of go through with it, say what you need to say, but get things moving again within yourself, but also within your life. And it may well move a few other people, but it will get rid of a few obstacles at the same time. So I hope that helps you, and I hope you can get moving from now on. Thank you.